KNRS News brought to you by University of Utah Healthcare. I'm Abby Bonnell, 6:03. A candlelight vigil now underway at this hour for Unified Police Officer Doug Barney, killed in the line of duty. The event is focusing on celebrating Barney's life and service. A second officer, John Ritchie, was wounded after the two encountered a fugitive. Members of both families attending. It's being held near the Holiday City Hall. Little is still known about a driver who smashed a motorhome into a Taylorsville building housing state agencies. The driver reportedly sent an email earlier today to the Utah Driver License Division, asking for his suspended license to be lifted related to a DUI.
There are state agencies there. We've got Highway Patrol, have some administrative offices there. There's the State Crime Lab, some of the transportation offices, a lot of state departments in that building.
Unified Police Lieutenant Lex Bell, the man reportedly shot himself. The area was cleared by the bomb squad. No staff injured. Utah Congressmen Rob Bishop and Jason Chaffetz unveiling a sweeping Compromise Utah Public Lands Bill. It protects areas such as Cedar Mesa, San Rafael Swell, and Labyrinth Canyon while expanding Arches National Park.
It was a worthy process. I think we have a product here that is not perfect by any means, not what I would like, not what Jason would like, but I think it's something that gives everybody a win in the process and can move us forward and end the litigation and end the bickering.
Congressman Rob Bishop appearing on Rod Show tonight. 1 million acres will be open to development. More than 4 million acres will be preserved. It's now being finalized before heading to Congress. Environmentalists have aired their opposition. KNRS News at the top and bottom of the hour. You'll find it anytime at knrs.com.
The shootout at the OK Corral.
Women's rights on gay rights.
Here's the world we live in.
And I apologize to nobody.
And with leadership, we can do it again.
Election HQ, the fight for the White House and control of Congress. A weekly conversation about the 2016 election. Joining Rod to analyze the major stories of the week is former Chief of Staff for Senator Mike Lee and now political strategist Boyd Matheson.
All right, this is becoming so wacky out there anymore. Boyd, I don't know where to begin with all of this. Do you?
I don't. It is you can't even fit it into a 3-ring circle.
Have you ever seen anything like this, Boyd?
No, this is absolutely uncharted territory, and it does show where the American people are. That they've had it with Washington, they've had it with the status quo, they've had it with empty promises from both parties, and so it's going to be very different. My hope is that as things continue to move forward, that we'll get past kind of the personality and spin contest, and we'll really start getting into some substance and making sure we actually have a dialogue with the American people. It's the one thing that I've seen, traveling the country with Senator Lee. We saw it over and over and over again. People are tired of just the talking points and shouting matches. They're tired of just bomb throwing. They want to be invited into a real conversation, into a real dialogue, and I still hold out hope that we can get there this year.
After our conversation last week, Boyd, you pointed out to me, you said, Rod, watch this tonight, or during the debate, how Ted Cruz responds to the attacks from Donald Trump. Not only in the debate, but Donald's got I think even more personal this week, saying Ted Cruz is not anybody, nobody likes Ted Cruz, and he went on this. What do you make of this feud that has developed between these two candidates? I mean, is it part of the process? We're getting close to the vote, or is it getting even uglier?
Well, it is getting a little bit uglier. I do think it's important for us all to remember that there's an old saying in Washington: if you want to have a friend in Washington, buy a dog. So I don't think anybody should be picking their presidential nominee by whether or not they think they have a lot of friends. We've had way too many friendships back in Washington that have put us $18 trillion in debt. So I don't think we should worry too much about that. I do think it's become personal as they come down the home stretch in Iowa. I think Trump obviously is very threatened by Cruz, so he is going to throw the attack dogs out there. Cruz is going to have to respond to that, and it will be very interesting to see how the other major players, the Marco Rubio and even a Chris Christie, either jump in on that or draft off of that, hoping that maybe there is a destruction and they emerge as the next natural opposition to Trump.
Mm-hmm. How do you think Cruz has handled this so far?
I think he had a slight misstep on a few things. I think the most important thing for Senator Cruz to do is to go out. He's really good at the what I call the Boston battles, the things that Senator Lee has always pointed out that the things we fight against in terms of bad government and big government. But I really think it's important for Senator Cruz to show his personal side and to show that he has a Philadelphia vision of what he's for in Washington. And I actually think if he focuses on that as opposed to focusing on countering or counterpunching any kind of Trump attack, he will be far better off. There's no way to show that you're more likable and sensible than to say, you know what, the friends that I need are the 300 million Americans who are tired of the status quo. My friends are the people who are ready for Washington to really trust the American people and not the other way around. My friends are, the hardworking moms and dads that are going to work every day to put food on the table, who are being hammered by big government policies. And I think that would change things really in an instant.
Let me ask you about Sarah Palin. I mean, she shows up, endorses Trump. She goes with Trump to Oklahoma today. They draw 10,000 people at Oral Roberts University. I mean, do endorsements really matter to the voters, Boyd?
In the end, I don't think I've ever seen any focus group or any polling that suggests in the end an endorsement was what made the matter. What mattered in the end before someone pulled the lever. It really comes down to the candidate. It can be nice. I think the main purpose of an endorsement is to create interest or to create space for people to maybe think again about a particular candidate. And so I think Sarah Palin's endorsement, created a little bit of a kerfuffle out there. And the interesting thing, this is really interesting to me, Rod, is that even though it was Sarah Palin, and even with her son being arrested, it really hasn't survived a complete news cycle. And that's pretty telling in terms of where we are. And I think people just continuing to move forward. And I think people are starting to look for the substance instead of just the sizzle. And I think that's important in terms of having a meaningful dialogue with people that even Sarah Palin couldn't drive a complete news cycle with her entrance into the race.
Yeah, it does make it interesting. We call it the fight for the White House and control of Congress. We do this weekly with Boyd Matheson, who's on our Newsmaker line right now. Boyd, I want to move over to the Democratic side of things. There is more and more talk about Hillary's emails and the investigation that is going on there. Has anyone on the Democratic side thought about what may happen if, in fact, she is indicted?
That is a great question, and my guess is that there are probably a few hand-wringers somewhere in the cavern of some undisclosed building that are playing out that scenario. But I honestly, the degree to which not just the candidates but their people and members of Congress are willing to just dismiss it completely is, I'm not sure if it's wishful thinking or just whistling past the graveyard. But my guess is there's probably a team somewhere who is actually playing out the scenarios. Obviously, they have great benefits in terms of what will be covered by the media and what won't. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's an interesting phenomenon that happens in campaigns. I call it the silver bullet factor. And campaigns get into this mode where they think, okay, we've got the silver bullet. As soon as this comes out, it is over for our opponent. And I see it over and over and over again. And campaigns waste so much time saying, okay, as soon as this comes out, it is over. It is done. We are going to win in a landslide. It's going to be easy street. This is coming. And the amazing thing is the silver bullet never comes. And if Republicans are running against Hillary Clinton, if they're running on her emails, we will lose badly, and we'll probably deserve it because we have to know that the media is going to cover it. The rest of her political allies are going to cover it. And so the chances of it having a real impact and being the silver bullet for the Republicans, I would say, is slim to none.
There are a lot of people, I bring this up to people, Boyd, and most people kind of write this off. They say, well, they aren't going to charge her. They aren't going to indict her. That's just simply not going to happen because the Democratic Party is in the White House, and there are powerful Democrats out there, and they're going to put pressure on Comey or Loretta. They'll depend on Loretta Lynch, and she'll say, no, there's just not enough here. We aren't going to pursue this.
That's right. It'll be the classic Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is not the scandal. This is not the scandal you're looking for, and away it goes. And so I think it's important. While yes, we do need to push, for justice. We do need to push to make sure if there were laws broken that there is accountability there. But I also think it's critically important that we do not make this part of our political calculus for the race for the White House in 2016.
Mm-hmm. I've got to ask you one more question. Poll came out on New Hampshire yesterday, and all of a sudden John Kasich is at 20%. Now, some people say that poll tends to be very unpredictable at times, not very dependable. What do you make of it?
It is a less than stellar track record for that particular poll. But I will say this, out on the stump, John Kasich is very personal. He has a great agenda. I mean, he is talking about upward mobility for the poor and real opportunity for the middle class, and he is taking on some of the cronyist privilege for the wealthy and the well-connected. And I actually think those are Republican principles. And I think it's, instead of the Republican Party being the party of the country club and the wealthy, we need to remember that Republican principles have lifted more people out of poverty than any set of principles in the history of the world. And I think because John Kasich is not involved in a lot of the drama of the campaign, he's not in the big mudslinging battles, there's an authenticity to John Kasich that I think is starting to break through in New Hampshire, and it is definitely something to watch.
All right. Well, Boyd, always great chatting with you. Talk to you next week.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Rod.
All right, that's Boyd Matheson, former Chief of Staff for Utah Senator Mike Lee and a political strategist. He joins us every week at this time. We call it the fight for the White House and control of Congress, and we'll talk to Boyd again next week. All right, more coming up on the Rod Arquette Show. Talk Radio 105.9, KNRS, listen and you'll know. Taking center stage on the Rod Arquette Show today is Murdoch Hyundai in Linden, Murray, and in Logan. Paul is back with me right now. Paul, Hyundai, I kind of think, set the auto world on its ear, several years ago when they came out with this unbelievable warranty. Tell people a little bit about the warranty that Hyundai offers people.
Yeah, it's the biggest reason we hear from consumers why they're there to look at a Hyundai, and it's 10 years, 100,000 miles on your engine and transmission, 5 years and 60,000 miles on everything else. So it doubles up all of the competition's warranty. Consumers love it, zero deductible. Any issue, any problem you have, and you're just covered.
Has that been a big selling point?
Oh, huge selling point. Huge selling point. I mean, that's people when it's one thing you're already saving $2,000 and $3,000, but you always start to wonder, is this the best deal? Is this the right thing? But when you know that you're covered with a warranty, if anything did happen, it makes that decision so easy.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about what Murdoch Hyundai does when it comes to customer satisfaction and taking good care of customers. I mean, even when it comes to service, you guys go beyond, above and beyond the call of duty and really try and treat the customer right.
Yeah, we feel like if it's right for the consumer, then we need to do it. So, we talk about being open till 9 p.m. in our service department, and that's Monday through Saturday. So even on Saturday, we're there all the way till 9 p.m. to service your car. Free drinks in the waiting room, free popcorn, free bottled water. You go anywhere else, and that'll cost you up to $2, $2.50 if you're in the wrong place, right? And it's free. You come into us, and it's free because we understand nobody wants to be there to repair their car, but while you're there, we try to make it the most pleasant experience possible.
With the weather that we've had lately, if you were a little bit closer, I think I'd be taking advantage of that free car wash every day.
Yeah, that one, we probably do 80 to 100 car washes a day. They're free anytime you buy a car from us. You just come by anytime you want. Like I said, all the way till 9 p.m., and we'll wash your car up.
All right, real quick, tell me about the lease plan you have right now for people who are interested in a Sonata.
Yeah, Sonata right now has got the best special that I think we've ever had on it. $199 a month, 0 down, 0 due at signing, 0 security deposit. So you literally get to walk out with $199. And if you're not interested in the Sonata and you like the Elantra a little better, we've got that same deal on Elantra for $215 a month.
All right. Paul is back with us one more time as Murdoch Hyundai in Linden, Logan, and in Murray take center stage here on the Rod Arquette Show. More coming up on Talk Radio 105.9 KNRS. Let's get a news update right now. Here's Abby.
Thanks, Rod Arquette.